internet. No, sorry, that was a joke from before the show. Hey everybody, welcome to Coffee with Spects, featuring me, Bryce the Prince, and I'm here with Spects. Let's jump right into it. It's been a couple weeks. We're back, better than ever.
Yeah.
How you doing, Spects?
I'm cold. I'm cold.
Oh man,
I drove through snow. It's too close to me.
I'm always surrounded by people that are telling me how cold they are, and I'm always like, it's not that cold.
It's 44 degrees.
That's not that cold.
Well, for California it is. So
yeah,
shut up.
Yeah, no, me and my dad just earlier today were having this conversation about, because my dad grew up in like Utah and Wyoming.
Those are two very different states.
They are, but he grew up in both. He finished, I think, the last couple of years of his high school career in Wyoming, and then he grew up mostly in Utah. But yeah, Utah. So it's funny. So he's like, yeah, man, it sometimes in California it gets to like the upper 30s, low 40s, and I'm like, that sounds nice.
The upper 30s.
What I would give to have the upper 30s. No, it's been typically our highs in Utah have been in the low 30s, upper 20s. So I guess that's what I get for living out here, huh?
I had to drive through the grapevine and there's like actual snow, like on the roof of a hotel and on the roofs of cars. And I know darn tootin' they don't have them like scraper things to clean up that mess.
Yeah. I've gotten pretty good at quickly like scraping windshield and my rear windshield. I don't know what to call it. the back window, the rear window.
Your back window.
Yeah, rear window.
Today we also uploaded a video we did together like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's like we like each other or something.
Do you want to know what's funny about that?
Maybe.
So I had that video basically edited, ready to go, and then I goofed up on the music before I left for my work trip. And I was like, oh, I can bring it with me and I can edit it while I'm, away. Didn't put it on the flash drive.
So, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what's funny is with that video, I usually I rely on like Fall Guys or a lot of the games to be kind of like my background noise. Like I usually leave the music up on those games loud enough to be like background.
Mm-hmm.
But you were so loud as like a participant in this.
I'm sorry, I provide you with great content.
But you're part of, on OBS, you're part of the desktop audio. And I didn't think about how could you open the volume mixer with Windows.
Yeah, it's your fault.
So I should have done that and then just turned down Discord.
Yeah, it's your fault.
And then just left the other volume the same. But it's funny because and it only needed like a slight adjustment too, so that's what's funny. But so it's funny is I ended up downloading the Fall Guys music.
I saw that. You had it on a loop
because it still works. Like just put it on a loop and it works as music for the whole thing. And I don't think anybody who would watch would notice that much.
I noticed.
The only thing they might notice is the lack of like Fall Guys sound effects.
I noticed.
Oh.
I heard the loop.
Whatever.
It's why we have OBS plugins.
Big of a deal.
And I think the application source like capture is in beta. You can always use that. So you don't have to worry about having one, slider.
Well, I'm pretty novice with OBS, so
some people.
I actually just learned today that I could map my keyboard to do like transitions.
Yeah, you have hotkeys.
So I don't know if you noticed in my video, I like click out of the game really quick to go to the next scene for my corner green screen.
Well, I have a virtual stream deck, so
Yeah, well, whatever. Not all of us can be cool like you.
$25. That's all I'm saying. You can use it
I
on
didn't
your.
know that even existed. To be
You can use it on your iPad. Like so.
Oh, interesting. I don't have an iPad.
You can use it on your.
Don't live
You
that
can
rich
you can use it on
so.
your iPhone, which I know you have.
I do have a iPhone for work,
which
so.
you do have, and you can use it, and you can
I
use
got
it
this.
on Android,
This,
like the filthy, like the disgusting green square
what
you
is it?
are.
You probably can't even see it really, but there's a
Oh, he's got a
phone.
fet. Yeah, you got
and
the.
it's a Google. It's a Google Pixel. So.
Oh, I think they have something similar. Can't be.
Yeah, I'm
cool.
sure. Well, it's Google Pixel is an Android, so.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
Android is a Google property, so.
Well, segueing, Halo's dead. Rough day for Halo.
It was dead a long time ago.
Well, Windows laid off a bunch of people, and they officially took it away from 343, which thank God.
Yeah,
As a friend of mine, we've been joking around that the only person who can save Halo is Todd Howard. So let's just give it to Todd Howard. Todd will save us.
Yeah.
And then you say you still play Halo Infinite.
Not as much anymore. But I mean, they recently started releasing way too late in the ball game. I will be the first to admit that. I'd be raising my hand right out here. But it's way too late in the ball game. But they started releasing like the ability to do more custom games. Their Forge is starting to come through. And so there is some actual stuff that I think makes that game worth playing. But like I said, way too late in the ball game. It's like they missed that. Like, really, would it have hurt them to take an extra year of development? And my question is, was that also just Windows' fault? Was Windows like, no, you need to get this out by this time, and they really could have pushed it out, or did they hold back on these updates because they wanted to save them to have future updates to do something with? Probably. If that is dumb, and I don't know. I get tired of these big development studios thinking that they can just release incomplete games and then finish them while they're still in development. Like, it's one thing to be a small studio, like I play this game called Valheim, and they're a small studio, and so the game is still technically in early access. But they've released it kind of like publicly to Steam, so everybody can play it. So that way they can get more, more feedback.
What's that? What?
Sorry, I went to actually scratch my ears because sometimes these headphones make me.
It just slid off your head there.
For those who are just listening to the podcast on Spotify, I don't think there's that many of you, but for anybody who is, I tip my headphones forward like that, and
just rocking this look now.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking about wearing them like this. So
I've done that.
Cool, right?
I've done this before, where I'll just rest it on the bill of my hat.
I don't have a hat, so
mainly out of laziness.
So, but no, yeah. But yeah, no, I there was so much good about Halo, to be honest. Like Halo Infinite, it's just sad that they couldn't quite get it right. Because like there was a lot of promising stuff to it. They just couldn't quite get it right. If within the first 6 months they had gotten out these updates that are now coming out that I'm talking about that I'm saying are huge in terms of making the game like more accessible for playing with your friends and all that kind of stuff. If they'd done that within the first 6 months, I think that game would still be very, very much alive today. Problem is they didn't do it fast enough. They didn't give enough features very fast, and yeah. So ultimately, yeah, I'm glad Microsoft kind of took that back, and I don't know. I wouldn't mind if they handed
Todd
Halo off to
Howard.
like Bethesda.
Todd Howard's our only hope. I'm telling you. Todd Howard's gonna
man.
swoop in and save the day, and then put it on a fridge. So I have a random question for you.
Man.
I don't know if you even have this. Did you happen to watch the Last of Us show?
No, I did not.
So I watched half of it when I was on my trip, and it was
Isn't
really.
The Last of Us? I thought that was a PlayStation 3 video game.
Yeah, but they made it a show.
Oh, I didn't know that.
On HBO Max.
Oh, I should pay more attention to that kind of stuff.
It's pretty good. You should. So we can throw that one out. Way to go.
What do you want from me? What do you want from me?
I don't know. You watch.
I don't have time to do anything.
You have HBO Max. You watch the entirety of Game of Thrones.
I mean, that was a good show.
So is The Last of Us. It's just a little more scary.
Well,
did you even play the game?
Yeah. Did I what?
Did you play the game?
The Game of Thrones? Or no, Last of Us is what you're saying?
Yes,
Sorry,
the Last of Us game.
I was on Game of Thrones, and so I know there is a Game of Thrones video game out there somewhere. So
this guy.
No, I have not played Last of Us because I never owned a PlayStation.
Oh, well, this topic is terrible then. All right, good to know. We're just gonna skate right past it.
No. Tell me why I should care.
All right. Oh God. All right. They did a good job.
I mean, I know that like in terms of the war between PlayStation and Xbox, the reason I would even care about it like just initially is the war between Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. Ultimately, The Last of Us is what won the PlayStation 3 the war.
Yeah,
in terms of
it's
just
great.
In terms of just raw sales numbers.
It's great.
I think honestly, if you look back at that time, in a lot of ways, the Xbox 360 still kind of won that war because such a huge portion of your sales for the PlayStation 3 come right as the PlayStation 4 is about to come out.
I guess.
So I think in a lot of ways, having that when people look back in that time, I think a lot of people talk more about, I remember playing this blah, blah, blah on the 360. They don't think, oh yeah, I remember playing The Last of Us on my PlayStation 3.
I think most people
at that point they were already moving on to their Xbox One or the PlayStation 4. So
yeah, that's true. It's a good show. It follows the game pretty well. It's I will say this, it is intense. So if you're not into like in very intense shows, probably not for you.
Yeah.
Throwing that out there. But it's good. It's got a good narrative. It's a little bit long. I think it was like an hour and a half. But from the half I saw, I was really, really impressed with it. To be completely fair. Good job on the open. It was good. I thought you'd saw it, so we could talk a little bit more.
Sorry.
This is great.
Sorry. No, Abby and I are honestly, actually, right now we're going through House. So.
Oh, come on. You can throw. You can. That's listen. It's about. All right, whatever. God damn.
Just love me. That's all I ever want from you, Spects, is your love.
House.
What's wrong with House? House is great.
Okay.
Have I disappointed you that much?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going all Obi-Wan? You were the chosen one.
No, not quite there yet, but it's just like House.
What's wrong with House? Have you ever actually watched House? I mean,
yeah,
honest.
I watched it when it was on regular television.
Well, that just shows how old you are. Anyways.
You're older than me.
Only by a few months, but I'm willing to admit that I'm old, and I don't think the same goes for you.
Who am I older than? I'm the youngest one in this call.
I'm saying wow. Between two people,
yeah, I'm still the youngest one in the call.
Let's get Jake in here, and then you won't be the youngest.
I'll be the middle child. That's fine. I'm awkward enough.
No. I wasn't saying you were the. No. I'm saying I'm willing to admit I'm old. I don't think the
I
same
fully
goes for
admitted
you.
I'm old. I've literally said I will gladly sit on the front porch of my place and yell at children to get off my lawn.
Yeah.
I've accepted that in my life. I could be in bed right now and just say, why? Because I'm old. I have earned the right to go to bed at 8:30, gosh darn it. And yet I'm talking to you.
Well, I mean, you love me, so.
Only because I'm told to.
You're told. Who's been telling you to love me?
You.
Did somebody pay you to love me?
Your wife. That's
Has my whole life been a lie?
Yeah, I had to break to you.
Oh,
Sorry,
man.
Chief.
What a bummer.
Yeah.
But,
sorry, Buckaroo.
Sorry that I didn't watch The Last of
Yeah, how
Us.
dare you? I had a top man. I made the show notes to this week. Bryce is usually the one who makes them. I was a good host and put down 11 topics. 11.
Yeah, he produced his own show for once. And all I am is a co-host this week.
And he is like, I didn't watch it. And he didn't offer any sort of retort. I sent him the list. He had the list like an hour and a half ago, and he didn't change it.
Exactly. If you had sent me the list like a day or two in advance, then
listen, I'm no miracle worker here.
I might have been able to watch
excuses.
At least the first
episode. Excuses.
I will say this: The Last of Us is high up on the list of games I need to play, but I don't think it's on any. It's not on PC, is it?
I don't think so. Or maybe it is. I don't know.
Oh, the Last of Us is going to be re-released, and it will be on PC.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna be on Steam.
The Last of Us Remake Part 1 is going to be arriving on PC on March 3rd. So here's what I will do for you.
You're gonna play it when it comes out on March 3rd?
I will get it when it comes out on March 3rd. So I'll need to set aside some money when that happens. Well, maybe by then I'll have my tax return. So maybe I'll take just part of my tax return and order The Last of Us. Because I will say it is like towards the top of games that I've never played that I really want to play. Because I love a game with a good story, and I have heard nothing but great things about the story for The Last of Us.
There you go.
So
there you go.
So, all right. So, well, I guess that's
bang, bang, bang.
We did kind of skip over our Hogwarts Legacy stuff.
Yeah, Hogwarts Legacy.
So that's coming out soon. That's just a little under a month away now. I honestly, it's been a while since I've been this excited for a new game. Usually, what happens with me when I play new games, like honestly, I'm so excited. I've been so excited in the past few months to play Fallout, and those games have all been out for like years. And I'm still excited to get back to those, but I've been playing another game with some of my other friends. But I haven't been this excited for a brand new game to come out since like I don't know, so probably Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3.
So you're just on the hype train there, huh?
Maybe. Here's the thing, I love Harry Potter, so I mean it's just one of those things. So I mean honestly, it's looking promising. Like it's got an open world. Looks like there should be lots of exploration to be done. And I'm planning, if I can, I'm gonna try to stream it a few times. I'll be one of those bottom row people with like 2 viewers, and one of them will be Spects, and the other one will be me. So
no, you'll have a third one. You could probably get your wife to watch you.
Oh, that's true.
There you go. You got 3.
Maybe if I tweet out that I'm streaming it, I'll get some hate people to come into my stream and be like, How dare you?
I don't think they care about you playing it. I don't think they're gonna be like bottom feeding.
That's probably true. They're gonna
I don't think they're gonna be
after
bottom feeding, but you never know.
But I mean, you mentioned before we started the podcast, you mentioned the boycott that seems
that's
to be
not
surrounding
That's not working because it's still like number 1 on the Steam charts.
And that's the thing is like you see all the, I've read like I've probably had like 2, 3, maybe 4 articles suggested by Google on my phone that are like Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy facing a big boycott due to author. Despite the author not having much to do with this, people are calling for a huge boycott, and it's like I feel like the people who are covering this just want something to cover.
Well, one, gaming journalists are really, really weird because gaming news is kind of a very narrow window. It's usually a lot of like you're only going to cover like updates to games and stuff.
Yeah, there's not a lot of controversy to discuss.
So
this is the biggest
when it comes to that, when it comes to that, they're gonna leech on it. But despite, sort of in terms of, I guess in terms of like boycotting, hasn't necessarily done a whole lot.
I mean, look here.
In terms of store,
I will say this regardless of how I feel about the boycott. People can have whatever genuine feelings they want to have. I'm still gonna play the game.
No,
I'm still into that world of Harry Potter. I have my own thoughts on J.K. Rowling and all that stuff. I honestly, I will go this far in terms of what I want to say in terms of my thoughts on J.K. Rowling is. I think there is. She's definitely not perfect.
Okay,
that's what I will say. She's not perfect. I don't want to get too far into it.
No, you're fine. I didn't know what
perfect. People, like I said, people can have as controversial opinions, or not controversial opinions, but opinions on her controversies.
Yeah.
But she's brought a lot of those controversies on herself. That's what I will say.
Yeah, because she can't
and
keep.
She continues to bring them on herself.
Yeah.
She created a brilliant world in Harry Potter, a world that I just love too much to give up, and for my absolute favorite book and movie series of all time, and my absolute favorite thing to do, which is play video games. For those two worlds to collide in a way, I've played even in the past few years. I've played the heck out of like Harry Potter games, like just the old standard ones that came with the movies. This experience that is being promised here is something I've been looking forward to since the concept was released back in like 2018. I've been waiting 5 years for this. I am going to be exploring those worlds in depth for hours at a time. It's going to be amazing. So
I'm just going to say this and then I'll give my short one sentence. It's number 1 in wish list on Steam and number 6 in sellers. So clearly it's not working.
I pre-ordered it.
No,
I pre-ordered the deluxe edition
so
too.
Clearly I don't think it's working. I will say this. I think you are entitled to your beliefs 1,000%. I think if you personally, like, the best way I'm going to put it is another game that's fun to play. High on Life, Justin Roiland, just stuff came out about Justin Roiland, and plenty of people are like, hey, there was a streamer, she was playing through it and it was like, hey, due to what came out, I'm not going to be finishing this. I'm going to just put the one episode out that I did. Stop it. And that was it. That was literally her comment. She said, I'm not calling for anyone else to do it. That's just how I feel. I just owe it to you guys to explain why this is ending. And I'm like, that's respectable. 1,000%. That's your piece. And, kudos to you. And you walk away from it. That's fine. If you don't want to play Harry Potter because you are like, hey, J.K. Rowling has things I don't believe in, understandable. 1,000%. But I will say, when it comes to games and it's hard is it's not fair to game devs to take it out on them when they put in however long they've worked on it for people to be like, hey, don't buy it because we don't want Rawling to get like a couple nickels. Yeah. I personally don't think that's fair to the two devs when they had nothing to do with it. All they have to do is put a game in. But again, I think you're entitled to it. If you want to be like, hey, don't want to play it, that's totally fine. Like, I get it. I do. 1,000%. There are, like I said, there are games that I don't play, or things that are done that I don't agree with, and I don't touch on with the 10-foot pole. Like, that's the beauty of it. If you don't want to take part in it, that's totally fine. I'm not I like Harry Potter. I think J.K. Rowling steps in it a lot of times. And, you know, that's the nature of it. Like I said, I just don't think it's fair to go after a dev team that had little to nothing to do with that, has nothing to do with her situation. If you don't want to give her, you're like, hey, don't want to give her my nickels. Totally cool. You can, as someone or a gamer said earlier this week, hey, if you're one of those people and you're kind of like, you watch someone play, like, damn, I want to play that game, but I don't really want to give J.K. Rowling a penny. You can always buy it used at your local GameStop. Have your cake and eat it too. It might weigh a little bit. Doesn't give any money to the devs. Doesn't give any money to J.K. Rowling, and you still get the game. Just saying. But I think it does suck that a game like this is just in broiling controversy when it's not even the game. When it's just a license that they had to purchase. And probably where most of our money's going to come from anyways, from that licensing agreement, it's not going to come up. It's just not going to make a lot from actual game sales. Yeah.
She got, I think, most of her money probably up front. She's already made her money off of this, so
yeah, she's the one thing that I definitely don't think people realize is she makes more. She will make more money in 2023 from book royalties, movie royalties, theme park royalties than she will with this game. In terms of like her like pie of like income, the game will make less than 1% for sure. So if you really are like, I don't want to do anything J.K. Rowling, then don't watch her films. Don't go to Hogwarts Land, and don't read. So there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely a similar sentiment in that way. Yeah. So, like I said, I'm stoked for this game. I'm ready for it to come out. I'm ready to just hop into this world and have it be, you know.
And if you don't like it,
there's life for a month. So.
And if you don't like it, there are plenty of other games for you to play.
Yeah.
Plenty of Game Pass games. So we're gonna switch now. Oh, wow, we're about halfway. God, look at us. So
we're doing good.
I know.
Right on time.
So how about that first round of the NFL playoffs?
Oh man, look. So for me, I'm half. I'm mostly a Rams fan now. For a little bit there, I was kind of like splitting my love between the Rams and the Chargers. But the Chargers are still like kind of like my second team, and so with the Rams out, I was like, let's see what the Chargers can do. I didn't really have a whole lot of expectations. Man, giving up that lead was hard.
Yeah, that I know. I was listening. So when I was driving home,
very true to form for who the Chargers have been in their whole life. So
when where was that? Where were those Chargers when the Colts are playing them? Where they just blow leads?
I don't know. I mean, that's because you guys are the Colts.
We lost the playoff game of the Chargers because of a punter. I want to point that out, that a punter literally kept pinning them at the 1 the entire game.
Great times.
That was not a great time. Those were not great times. Those were not fun times. Those were sad boy times.
Well, I think they were great times.
Yeah, no one cares what you think.
So
My name's on this, not yours. Okay, wait, yours is there too. But nevertheless,
I was gonna say my name is there, so it's in the logo now.
I can change that real quick.
Anyways, I mean, Tom Brady, what do you think happens to him next year?
I think he's still gonna play. I just don't know where. It could be Vegas. It could be. It could be the Jets. It could be. I guess that's
Could
really
you
it.
imagine the Jets?
I mean, I can. I don't think it'll happen. Some
I don't
people
know if
even
you'd
say
wanna play behind that kind of a line, though.
See, people even say like he could go to Frisco, and it's like I don't think so because I think they'd rather if they had to go that route, and they're like Trey Lance sucks, Jimmy G's gonna leave. I think they'd rather take their chances with Purdy because Purdy's good, so like, and he's cheap.
Yeah. No.
You know.
I don't know. I honestly kind of want him to retire.
I don't think he is. I think he wants at least.
He's had such a great career, and I feel like anything more he does now is just going to be like.
I think he wants.
A great career,
I think he wants more, but it's just like I don't know where. Like I think he's gonna try to win one more ring, and then retire.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know where that is because his like teams with good O lines are like Frisco, Indy. I guess is really it. I can't think of any other ones offhand.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. And I guess you could argue like he might go where Sean Payton wants to go, which is like, okay, where the hell's that? I don't know. Like again,
Give me the Chargers for like a second.
I don't think they're gonna fire Staley as much as I think they want that, as much as I think they should. I think they much rather blame Joey Bosa, even though the refs clearly missed a false start. And you and I both have played sports,
yeah,
at a decent level, and you and I both know that officials, not all, certain officials do enjoy making it all about them and making it look at me, Louie. We both know this, so I don't know what he said. I thought Bosa's comments of like, well, we got him, we got him. Like, do I think they were doing that? No. Do I think they really missed a call and didn't want to hear it? Probably, because it was clearly a false.
Think that happens much too often.
The whole thing was it's clearly a false start. And one thing that I find funny is the only guy who doesn't do this is like the Pereira on Fox. Is every other like rules guy will always defend their referee buddies still, and I think all of them do. I think the NBA
Pereira
guys
on Fox is great.
Yeah, Pereira is literally like I would like will literally say no, we're not gonna do like you don't do that because of this. And then we'll literally follow it up by, I unfortunate. But the NBC guys always want to defend his referee friend still, where he's like, in real time, it was probably like in sync. And I'm like, that was a full second in slow-mo when he jumped.
Yeah.
Like, that's not bang bang. You're stop trying to defend him. He blew the call.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that something like that happens. And this is where I think the NBA gets it right. Is I think the NBA does like the 2-minute report where they have to like state every call.
Yeah.
So they have accountability. The other sports don't have the accountability. But I digress on that front.
Wow, the NBA getting something right.
I know, right? So Seattle 49ers was very much one-sided. Brock Purdy's pretty good. Same thing with Buffalo. I didn't see the Buffalo Ravens game, or no. I saw the end of Buffalo Miami. I saw nothing of the Ravens Bengals game because I was at the end of a 12-hour day. So I didn't see that. But I know those were kind of okay games. and I'm looking forward to seeing them again.
Yeah.
I got nothing else to add to that.
You know, honestly, what's funny is normally I'm not a rooting for the team you would expect to go and win it all.
Are you rooting for the
Honestly,
Bills?
I find myself rooting for the Bills this year.
They are the team of destiny.
Now that the Chargers are out of it, I feel like the Bills are the team to root for. I don't now. The only team I have to root against, which feels so good, is just the Cowboys.
Yeah, and they're probably going to be
That's
losing.
the one team I have to root against,
and they're probably going to be done by the end of this week.
It's better than I like it because like when we had the MLB playoffs, we came down to the Yankees and the Astros and the ALCS, and I was like, I don't want to root for either team. And even in the World Series, like I'm not a huge Phillies guy, especially with Bryce Harper. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Bryce Harper in a lot of ways, but I don't know. He's one of those guys that where if he's on your team, you root for him. If he's not, you don't. But that's what. So what I'm saying is like I love the NFL playoffs this year because just don't have any other teams other than the Cowboys to say, as long as they're out, I'm fine. Like all the other teams, it's like, yeah, those are all fine. Like anybody else who wins, I'd be like, cool, yeah, they won. It's good.
There you go.
No teams that excite me, but you know, other than the Bills, I do kind of want to see the Bills win because I mean, you and I for our whole lives, the Bills were the punchline of the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah,
so were. To have them be like the team of destiny,
the team of plots.
Oh, we'll see.
I threw this portion in there mainly because I think it's an interesting footnote because it might happen before next week, and if it does, cool. Or it might not. I really don't know. LeBron James is very, very close to breaking the all-time scoring record, and there's a good chance he might break it in Milwaukee, which would be huge. He's like 200 something points away, I believe, right now, right?
As of the recording, LeBron James career points.
LeBron James is currently, this was 2 days ago, is currently 284 points behind.
38,104. And what was
387. And LeBron James, I wonder how close is this? And LeBron is I don't know how many points he has tonight.
You're talking Kareem?
No.
Kareem was 38,330.
No, I know how.
87, and LeBron's at 38,104.
Yeah, I know, but I said I don't know how many points LeBron has right now in the game.
Oh, are we in the middle of a Lakers game right now?
Yeah, Lakers are playing. So right now, LeBron has 13 points going into the fourth. So we'll probably end with probably 25 another 20,
so yeah,
another
25
to 30.
6 to 10 games, depending on how many points he goes off for in all these different games.
Yeah, we did
see him though as he gets really close to it. I could see him popping off for 50 a few games.
Yeah, so I know the NBA
amazing on those legs. So.
I know the NBA really would probably love it if he got it in Milwaukee, and he only needs like 25-ish points a game to really get it.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
So we'll see how it all goes. It's look, most of my career, I did not like LeBron James. Most of his career. I'm still not a huge LeBron guy. I still think look, he's a little pretentious to me. Is basically my main thing. But an all-time great in the NBA, yeah. If you want to have the Michael versus LeBron debate, I still think it's Jordan. Even if LeBron passes Kareem in points, I think that speaks more to longevity than talent. And LeBron has played and then that's what I will say. One of the underrated things about LeBron James throughout his career has been his durability.
Yeah. So the one
Play
thing that
many games and then to not be injured for so many of them.
yeah. So for the NBA or on NBA.com, they are saying based on his average of 27.2 points per game, he needs about 10 and a half games to break the record. That would put him on pace to reach this milestone on February 9th against Milwaukee. And they have like the window of like 5 games that they think they're going to do it. And it's the Pelicans, the Thunder, the Bucks, the Warriors, which is a national ABC game, and then Portland. So I'm sure the league is like the February 9th would be huge. That's a primetime game. Or no, it's a primetime game. On TNT, or hell, if they really were, if they're really selling it, they'd want it, with Golden State. But I'm sure he wants to do it at home. So I'm guessing we're going to be looking for the 9th, which is in, a couple weeks here. But I thought it's worth noting that we're kind of leaning it in there.
Yeah.
I didn't think that record would break, but
no, I would say probably about 5 or so years ago, I probably would have said LeBron would eventually do it.
We'll see.
I honestly now here's what I would say now as he's breaking it. I don't know that anybody's ever going to break LeBron's record.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think with like longevity anymore you're going to get it, especially with you having to go to college. Because you lose a year.
Look at who one of your greatest all-time scorers right now is Steph Curry.
Yeah, and Steph Curry's not even in the top
guys
10.
Like that, I there's something about that 3-point game that it can trip you up a bit, which sounds counterintuitive, but there's something about like the speed at which you have to run and different things. You're getting a lot of non-contact injuries for those shooters. So like, if you wanted to tell me, well, yeah, LeBron James, he wasn't the greatest 3-point shooter in the world, that's definitely true. But I don't see anybody having his skill at getting to the rim, and I don't see anybody being durable enough who can shoot 3-pointers to shoot enough 3-pointers to pass them up. I think it's gonna be now. Look, obviously, I think we say this. I think people when Michael Jordan retired, it was like it's easy to say nobody's ever gonna pass this and this up. And when Kareem set the scoring title and then put some distance between him and Jordan, or not Jordan, him and I think it was who was second at the time when
Malone.
Kareem.
Oh, I don't even know.
Malone ended up catching up to him. Who was second in or who did? Sorry, I'm gonna have to look this up. Who did Kareem pass
Wilt
for the all-time points?
Was it Wilt?
Was it Wilt? No.
Or Moses Malone.
Let's see. Wilt Chamberlain, you're right. So, and he did that by scoring 31,420 points.
For the record,
and then he added some time onto that and got another, clearly 7,000 some odd points.
So you're talking about like Steph Curry. Steph Curry's not even the top 100 players right now.
No, and that's the thing. He's been injured so many times in his career. And most of the like I'm saying, most of the big 3-point shooters you see Steph Curry, you see Klay Thompson, you see a lot of these guys get injured.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's non-contact injuries. I think it's because of
just
the way you have to get yourself open, and the way teams can play defense. It leads to more injuries by shooting threes. Because to be honest, I think part of what makes LeBron great and what makes him so durable, other than the fact that he definitely obviously has like some of the best workouts in the world, is the fact that he goes to the rim for so much of his points, and he's able to brace himself for contact.
Yeah. I think what's fascinating is when you're looking at like active players in terms of points, it's LeBron at 38, and then Kevin Durant's at 26, followed by James Harden at 24. So I don't even know if like KD could even get to that point. And he's, almost a full, more than 10,000 points behind. So it's like, I guess realistically, like he's your next closest. But in terms of like even young guys, I think the youngest on here is surprisingly, is it Andrew Is it really Andrew Wiggins? Like the youngest guy on here with, in terms of points? No, right? Luka's got to be somewhere in here. Well, Giannis is 12, but Giannis is getting older too, right? I don't know. I won't say it's like unbreakable, but I think it's gonna get pretty close to it. But I don't know. Based on this, it's like, Kevin Durant's gonna have another 500 more games potentially. Giannis will play a lot more, but it's just like, dude, I don't even know. Like if that's
maybe
impossible.
Kevin Durant, but
it's like his Kevin, like, he played, he blew out his Achilles.
He's gonna be durable long enough. So
who knows?
Yeah, no, it's this is, I think, history you have to watch because you may never get a chance to see something like this in your lifetime again.
Yeah. So shifting gears.
I say that, but we may have some young guy come in the NBA in the next 5 years. And
you never know. All right, so we're shifting now to baseball to put a bow on this. We'll talk some Angels because they did some stuff at the time we were gone. But let's talk the Carlos Correa situation because that was a fascinating situation.
That was so much fun to watch. Actually,
I know you have your thoughts.
So much fun in an off season. I
have mine.
I mean, honestly, for me, look, I love baseball, but you're definitely the baseball guy, and so.
Do you want me to go first? Do you want to go first?
Look, I mean, you occasionally see like we see physicals break up injuries or not injuries, break up contracts all the time. We in fact we had what's his name?
Not to this degree.
Well, no, but we had what was his name? The draft pick.
Well, yeah, Kumar. You had Rocker, but that really Kumar Rocker, and hilariously with the Mets.
Smaller scale.
But hilariously still with the Mets.
Yeah. So, but I mean, that's what's so fascinating is just that you end up having him announce that he's signing with the Giants.
Something came up.
And then you end up having, and then they backed out of it, and then he announces that he's signing with the Mets, and they backed out of it, and then the Twins were like, you know what, fine, yeah, we'll take you back. There's two questions I have with regards to this.
Okay.
One is just, how do teams just not know already? That's what they're looking at. I mean, it was kind of a widely known thing that part of why Houston let him go was they had concerns that his injury could be a problematic going forward. And then the other question I have is, if you're the Twins, how do you feel about him as a Twins fan? Because this is a guy who left you for two different teams before finally saying, "Oh, fine, I guess I have to settle."
I mean, okay. Let's start at the top. Let's start with the Twins. One, the Twins know his medical's probably better than any other team outside maybe Houston. In Houston, I think the Houston situation is a little bit different than. They didn't want to re-sign him because they thought his ankle was going to blow out or his knee or whatever the hell it was would blow out. But they had Jeremy Pena, and Jeremy Pena looks to be good enough. So I think Jeremy Pena had more to do with it than probably they let on. But in terms of like the Twins know his medical. They know it the best because that's where this like flare up happened. So when it comes to that, they know the risk, and because their doctor knows it, whatever, they're probably more willing to be like, okay, whatever. I think why the two deals failed between Houston or New York and San Francisco was strictly money, because I think one or both had full no trade clauses, and I don't know where the opt-outs were. So if those deals had gone through, they're stuck with an albatross of a contract that they can't trade, and they really can't do anything with. So how major was it? Enough for them to both teams to walk away from $300 million deals. 2 very long deals at that.
Yeah. So, but so my other question was, if you're a Twins fan, should a Twins fan feel about a guy who walked away from you to not just one, but 2 teams?
I don't think you care.
You just say, well, he's still one of the best.
I don't necessarily say you like
shortstops in the league.
I don't necessarily think you say he's one of the best. That's the he came back.
Just say it's the business of things, and he came back, so let's just root for what we have.
Here's what I would say: if you're a Twins fan, it's like, we know his medicals.
Sure,
whatever. At the end of the day, that's how I look at it. Is the risk. I mean, he's still a fit there.
Knowing baseball history.
Okay.
Is there any precedent for this kind of thing at all?
No.
Do you remember any time in your history a guy signed out with 2 separate teams?
I don't remember a guy failing a physical twice.
Well, and here's the thing. The Giants, he failed the physical.
Yeah.
The Mets knew he failed the physical, but they still offered him that contract before doing the physical and going,
because that's how it is.
We really also don't want to sign it.
But that's how it is.
Why would you do that? Why would you not?
Because you don't.
You have already settled it for yourself.
Because here's why. Because I've said this before. If you read what transpired, Boris didn't call the GM. He didn't call their GM. He called Cohen. He didn't call Billy Epler. He called Cohen. That's the Boris move. He doesn't deal with GMs. He deals with owners. Why? Because owners are irrational. He can sell him, be like, hey, the Giants deal's not going to go through. They don't want him. Do you want him for whatever it was? I think 11 years? One was 13, one was 11. 11 years, 300 whatever mil. Cohen's going to do it. He doesn't care about the money. But that's how those deals are, is then they have the physical to make sure everything's on the up and up. 9 times out of 10, it's on the up and up, and you just walk away. You just like sign, seal, deliver. Now, do they know? Like, did they know? I don't know. Like, they probably wanted to have their guys look at it, and maybe it wasn't as bad as they thought it was. Turns out it was. Now, what it was, we still really don't know. But it took a while for them to be like, we're done. And then again, he went back to the team that knows the medicals.
Yeah, I guess
with another opt-out clause, mind you. So it's not like, but the only thing that sucks now is I think his opt-out clause is he's going to be like in his 30s, I would think, at this point.
Yeah, something like that. So, I mean, that kind of...
So you're not exactly...
It puts it on him to keep himself healthy, so...
So maybe if he, like... He, comes back... Let me look.
Sure.
Let's see.
I think, what is it? 6 years is the...
Yeah, it's 6 years, like 100 something.
Yeah, well, I think it's after 6 years he can opt out, or they
I think it's before.
6-year, $200 million contract.
When's the opt-out clause?
Worth Korea.
Wait. Okay, hold on. 6 years, $200 million contract with the Twins. Comes with additional 4 vesting options that can take the value to $270 million over a decade long term. When's the... Let's want to see. guess not. I thought there was an opt-out clause somewhere in here.
I thought so too, but all I'm seeing is that the Giants are forcing opt-out clauses on a lot of players.
Yeah, because it saves them money. Let me look. He's 28, so I want to say. Let's say when his free agency is. Signed through 2028, 6 years, $200 million. Okay, so he's gonna be there. He's not a free agent again until 28. It looks like, and then 29 through 32. So he's there for 5 years, and then team options from 2029 to 2032. So he's not going to be a free agent until he's like in his mid 30s. So he's probably going to be a Twin for the rest of his playing days. Which is I don't know if it's unfortunate, but like
that leads to my more Angels related question. Do you wish the Angels had signed Carlos Correa?
I don't think he would have passed the physical.
Do you wish they had at least tried?
If they knew that I'm not saying they didn't try, but I
mean, I'm sure there was calls made and people
but
talked
it's like
to,
but it's the bit of for what he was going for. We don't need that, you know?
Yeah. Well, and the Angels don't often get deals with Scott Boras clients.
Not now.
I learned that when we originally went after Alex Rodriguez back in the day.
Not now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's wild. It's crazy. He's now there he's gonna be there now for however long. So I mean, I don't know what $100 million does. He's only making realistically what, I guess the long end 270, but
yeah,
I guess them's the breaks.
I'm sure he'll be so sad about it while he sits in his mansion.
And he's still there for 5 years.
Stacks of cash and
less stacks of cash.
Yeah, but he'll still have more stacks of cash than you and I will ever have. So,
all right, Angels, they did some things.
So I'm trying to think of in this meantime, was this Drury? Was he one of the ones since the last time we talked?
Drury and what, Phillips? Good old Brentwood Phillips. Now
do you like these moves?
Yeah, I think they're good moves.
I honestly think that this has been one of the most underrated off seasons for the Angels in a while.
I think they've had a better one.
I do still kind of wish that they would have gotten a bullpen arm.
There's still time. I have a funny suspicion they're gonna try to flip Adele for something, sooner than later. That's my guess. But see, I love Brett Phillips. I think Brett Phillips is a great dude. He's a great dude. He's a great guy. I don't know how much trust to have in him. Based on what he's done so far in the big leagues. So it might be like Adele could jump back into the fourth outfielder spot or Moniak. But he did work with Trent Woodward, who helped fix Ward swing. So that is worth like checking there. So I don't expect Brett Phillips has like 30 home runs, but he might do something to solidify the fourth outfielder spot. And then I think Drury's was a good pickup.
So does this spell the end for Joe Adele?
I think so, but I think the Marlins trade today may put an end to that. Since they did well, they didn't pick up an outfielder, so I don't. They might. That Angels like outfield for a Marlins pitcher 1-for-1 still kind of fits, but they did make the comment that Jazz would be playing in center field, so I don't necessarily know if they would still be like, hey, we'll take Adele and then maybe put him in left field. I don't know. But I think it's still possible because there's some young guys that the Angels could use as the starter. So I think that's possible, and then maybe throw in somebody else and get a bullpen guy. But I don't know.
Weirdly enough, I'm still rooting for Adele, so
I think Adele's still young enough to where you can still kind of have like the monogram of like maybe it works itself out, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. If they want to say like, hey, we want you to tear up AAA for a couple months and then we'll see where we are, that's fine. But I think they wanted to give themselves an option not to have to rely on him, which is fair. If they find an opportunity for him somewhere, go for it. But I would say if they still think he's going to be good, but they want to give him like the safety net of Brett Phillips as the fourth outfielder, fair. There's nothing wrong with depth, and they've improved.
Sure. But I feel like they've also got so much depth now that it almost logged in there. And
yeah, but then you had the opportunity to be like, hey, we need a pitcher. We need like you said, hey, we need a bullpen. We need another bullpen arm. They can now go on the trade market and find one.
Sure.
With quality going there.
Sure. Well, and speaking of minor leagues, just that last bit of Angels news was the Salt Lake Bees ownership group, the ownership group that actually used to own the Utah Jazz, the Miller family. They announced that they are going to be moving the Bees from Salt Lake to Daybreak, Utah. So
does that make a difference to anything?
It's in Utah. It does. I mean, if you're ever interested in going to a Bees game, like if there's ever
is that harder?
League that we're super, it's so the difference. There'll be two big differences. One good, one bad. Okay. The bad difference is the one I'll start with, which is Daybreak is not as close to the freeway, not nearly as close to the freeway. You're going to be going from 5 minutes off the freeway to about 10-15 minutes off the freeway.
Okay.
The goods, I should say there's actually two goods, is one is that Daybreak is a much nicer area. The ballpark neighborhood in Salt Lake City is known for lots of crime and just a lot of not great stuff. And then Daybreak also has more open land and open space there, so the stadium won't just be like this middle downtown sort of thing. It'll be a nice parking lot and nice area. It'll be a better experience for fans to go to. So
is that happening this year, or is it going to be like in?
I think it's 2025.
So you got a couple more years.
So there even could be some negotiating in that time, but I'm pretty sure the negotiating has to take place in the next 6 months.
It has to be done, yeah.
Building a stadium, so
if they have land and stuff, yeah. But that's it. I saw something about it. I just didn't think anything of it.
I mean, it's not a huge. I mean, it doesn't affect the Angels too much, but it'll be interesting to see how it all goes down. I'm gonna definitely try to go to a game in the new stadium once it's built, but
is that?
And then I'll report back.
Okay, good.
that'll be years later. So who knows if we're even doing this podcast at that point? But
yeah. I mean, that's interesting, I guess.
Yeah, well, that'd be a nice little thing to talk about as we wrap the Angels talk up.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah, no. Is there anything else with the Angels you wanted to talk about?
No.
I hope that the next season brings more positives to talk about. I like the depth moves they've made. I think I think Perry is doing a good job with.
I want another right-handed starter, but
But you know the thing is I think with Perry, he's got his hands tied in two ways. He's got the potential sale of the Angels, which is probably going to be coming in the next couple months, is based on what Rob Manfred. Is that right? I don't remember if I got the name right.
Yep, Rob Manfred.
If he wants it to be done by time season begins. So
yeah,
that sounds like it should come in the next 2.5-3 months or so. So
here's hoping.
That's what you hope for, and then once that cloud, I think gets out from over Perry's head, he'll be able to do a little bit more. Particularly with once he has the new owner, hopefully they're willing to spend more, and he can just go after everything on his checklist rather than trying to fill it with the limited pocketbook that already was known for. So
we'll see.
Anyways, but I think that wraps it up for this week. We'll try to get more. I think we talked about maybe doing more joint YouTube content when we can. And Spects is going to create a new logo and a little bit of a look for me for my YouTube. So be on the lookout for that in the next couple weeks, however long it takes me to actually get that all uploaded and implemented. And once I, get everything arranged with Spects. So
yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, no. Thanks for joining us, for watching. Let us know if there's anything you want us to talk about in future weeks, and we'll try to fit it in. I think we're always open to ideas for what we should.
Yeah,
talk
someone
about,
doesn't like my notes.
Well, I liked your notes. What are you saying? It's just I hadn't seen The Last of Us. So
some
people's children, right? Anyways, well, thanks for joining us. Hopefully everybody has a good week, and until hopefully next week, we will see you soon. Bye.